Our first time stepping foot in Asia. Hello from a very cold Seattle, Washington. Quite a bit different than the Florida Keys, and you may be wondering, how the heck did we get here? So let's fill you in real quick. When you last saw us, we were exploring the Florida Keys with our friends Jen and Elliot on their boat Pivot, but since then we've headed back to Austin, spent some time with our pup Kona, and flew to Seattle to finally visit a part of the world that we have wanted to visit for years, Southeast Asia. We are going to be spending the next 6 weeks primarily in Vietnam with some quick stops in 2 other countries, and we cannot wait.
We flew into Seattle this morning because flights to Asia were cheaper from here, and tomorrow morning we're going to be embarking on an over 38-hour travel day, or I guess you could say days, to get to Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. And for our first leg, we have a 17-hour non-stop flight to Singapore, where we have an overnight layover in the airport that we are super excited about. And if you're not familiar with the Singapore airport, you may be confused about why we're so excited about this, so stay tuned to see what we mean.
Now entering SeaTac Airport.
This is going to be the longest flight we have ever been on, and a 17-hour flight is just pretty crazy to me, and I would have thought it was the longest flight in the world, but it turns out that is JFK to Singapore, which is 18 hours and 50 minutes. It's going to be long, and it's probably not going to be super comfortable because we're just in very basic economy, but I am just too excited to care.
We've got podcasts downloaded, movies downloaded, books to read. We didn't get much sleep last night, so we're ready for a nap already, so I think we'll be okay.
All right, this is our home for the next 17 hours.
We have a pillow, a blanket, TV. Ain't so bad.
I just cannot believe this is finally happening. We've been planning this trip for months. It's so surreal that it's finally here. Oh,
As I'm
so excited. I'm so excited.
So far, no one is in this seat. We know it's apparently booked. There's not many people walking around.
Thank you.
Could it be?
If we have a seat open in our row, I might cry. That would be so amazing.
Attention cabin crew, all doors are closed. Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Very warm welcome aboard Singapore Airlines flight SQ27 from Seattle to Singapore.
All right, I'll see you later.
So far, I read an entire book. Adam's been watching movies. I've been listening to some podcasts. We got a couple naps in, and we've been eating quite a bit because they serve a good amount of food on this flight. We got snacks and drinks basically as soon as the plane took off. Our first meal came shortly after that.
That's actually pretty good.
And then we got more snacks.
This is interesting. Never seen this before. Interesting.
And we just got our second meal. So I ordered the gluten-free meals, and they're pretty good, but they're definitely not as exciting as the regular meal options. But that's okay. They give you quite a bit of food, and these things are delicious. I'm very glad I've gotten these twice now.
And I actually got the vegetarian option. It's a roasted cauliflower steak with some kind of red rice, tomatoes, and like a garlic sauce. It just sounded super good, and it looks pretty good too. We've only got about 7.5 hours left, and we're gonna keep doing the same things we've been doing, so we'll see you in Singapore.
Welcome to Singapore, ladies and gentlemen.
Our first time stepping foot in Asia.
So the reason our travel day is 38 hours is because we have a 19-hour layover here in Singapore. We intentionally chose this because we've always wanted to visit Singapore, especially the airport. The Singapore Changi Airport is said to be the world's best airport, but it's not just an airport, it's basically an attraction in itself. So much so that we hear locals even come here on weekends for fun. There are gardens, slides, a waterfall, movie theater, tons of restaurants and shops, and so much more.
Since our layover is mostly overnight, we decided to spend it in the airport since there's so much to see and do here, but on our way back from Vietnam, we have another layover in Singapore and we plan to explore the city then.
We just went through immigration, which was super easy, especially since US citizens don't require a visa. Tonight we're staying at the Yotel in the Jewel area, so we're gonna head over there, drop off some bags, and go explore. We'll give you the grand tour a little later, but we've got less than 3 hours until it seems everything closes in the airport, so let's go.
The Changi Airport has 4 terminals, and Terminal 1 is home to the Jewel, which is an area completely open to the public and has the airport's most famous attractions. And first up, we're going to the Rain Vortex, which is the world's tallest indoor waterfall.
Check that out!
This waterfall is 40 meters tall and the whole area surrounding it is just covered in trees and vegetation. So even though it's an indoor waterfall, you really feel like you're outside. It's also very, very humid in here, so that also adds to the outdoors vibe. But I've seen photos and videos of this waterfall for years and I've always wanted to come see it, and it's just so surreal to finally be here.
Also, if you don't want to go through immigration, but you still want to see this gorgeous waterfall, you can take the airport train that goes right by it.
Some of the attractions here at Jewel do have a fee to enter, including the Canopy Park. There are a bunch of different things to do within the Canopy Park, but if you want to do them all, it gets pricey pretty fast. So we're just going to do the walking nets, which is almost 19 Singapore dollars per person, but we signed up for the free Changi Rewards program and saved almost $5 per person.
Everywhere you look inside here, there is nature and something interesting to look at. If you just dropped me in here and didn't tell me where I was, I would never guess this is an airport.
So far, we've just been exploring the main Canopy Park, but right behind me are the walking nets, and these things suspend 5 stories, and that's where we're going next.
This looks so cool. Look how steep this is right at the start. You just have to climb up this net.
Wow. This is so fun.
All right, we got to the top of the first hill, but you do not want to look down. Ah, it's 5 stories down there.
Yeah, that's a little daunting to look down at. Thankfully, they have this smaller net underneath the bigger net. That way you cannot fall through.
This is pretty scary. Oh my gosh. You know you're not gonna go down, but holy cow. That was a ton of fun, but we only have about an hour until a lot of places close in here, so we gotta go find some food. There are tons of places to eat in the airport, and it was really difficult to choose, but we wanted some Asian food, so we came to a place called Aburi Inn. Aburi means flame grilled meat in Japanese, and we got the butadon with pork belly, and it comes over some rice.
So before this trip, I bought some chopsticks online so I could learn how to use chopsticks. We even brought some with us so we can have reusable chopsticks wherever we go. But I have not mastered it yet, and all we have are chopsticks, and I don't remember how to do it. And Adam's making me do it on camera to embarrass myself. No one's allowed to make fun of my form. I'm still learning.
There you go.
This pork belly is so fatty and has such a delicious glaze on it. Oh man, melts in your mouth.
Oh heck yeah. Perfectly grilled. Like Adam said, melts in your mouth. This beats the airplane food by miles.
We have another food spot that we want to check out in the airport tonight, but they're about to close, so we're speed walking. We made it. And so did everyone else. It's a gelato spot called Birds of Paradise, and they have a few locations around Singapore, and I hear it is delicious, which explains why there's such a long line to get it. The only concern we have is that they close very, very soon, and the line's really long, so we're hoping that they let everyone get gelato, because otherwise we'll be really, really sad.
So they label themselves as botanical gelato, which means they use lots of different herbs and spices and plants to make some unique flavors. And I got the sea salt hojisha, which is a green tea. Whoa. Yeah, that is very salty, very sweet, very creamy. I don't know how to describe that hojisha. It has a unique flavor to it.
Like earthy?
It is kind of earthy and really, really high quality, really delicious.
And I got the pandan, which is a tropical plant that's really popular here in Southeast Asia, and I have zero idea what this is going to taste like. Oh. Ooh. At first it kind of just tastes like vanilla, but it has a unique flair to it. I don't know how to describe it at all.
Yeah, we've never,
but it's really good.
Haven't had these flavors often or ever.
Yeah, these are completely new plants, flavor profiles for us. Oh, it's so good.
Well, we got to eat this while we're walking because we have one more thing we want to see, and it's over in Terminal 3, and it closes in about 25 minutes, so we got to book it.
Well, we were going to ride the tallest slide in an airport, which is 4 stories tall. We were so excited about it, but unfortunately it closes in 2 minutes, and we've been running around trying to figure out where we get the tickets to ride it, and we just kind of ran out of time.
Sad day.
Wow,
another A plus K failed slide attempt.
Yeah, y'all know we love slides, so we're really excited, but it looks really cool. So if you come, just try to get here well before they close so you can figure it out.
Before we hit the hay, we want to give you a quick tour of our room. As we mentioned, we're staying at the Yotel inside the airport, and it is easily the smallest hotel room we have ever stayed in.
As soon as you walk into the hotel room, bam! There's your bed. The bed is just 1.5 feet from the wall. And you might look at this bed and think, huh, well that doesn't look very comfortable. How does that work? Let us show you.
Oh yeah, it reclines.
My foot's hitting the wall. It's actually a pretty comfy bed, and I think when it's fully reclined, it will probably touch the wall or get really, really close. Oh.
Oh no.
Oh no, I don't think it gets fully flat. We might be sleeping at a slight angle, but it's okay. Still better than the airplane earlier.
Oh, for sure, definitely better than the airplane seat. Maybe if you sit on it though, it might go down. Oh yeah, there it goes.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. Ta-da!
That's the bedroom.
And right behind the bed is the bathroom, which has everything you need. It has a sink, a toilet, and a pretty decent sized shower for a room this small. We've actually been pleasantly surprised by just how much space we have in this room. We knew it would be tiny, but we have plenty of room to walk around. The bathroom, we can move around without running into things, so they've done a really good job making the most out of this tiny space.
And if for whatever reason you need privacy from your roommate or your partner, you can just pull these shades across. But do know, it is not soundproof.
This is definitely a convenient spot to stay if you have a quick layover in Singapore and don't want to stray from the airport, but be warned, it is not cheap. This tiny little room cost us almost 200 USD for one night, which is a lot more than we like to spend on lodging in general, but especially for something this size. But that's just kind of how Singapore is. It's a pretty expensive country to visit, which is kind of crazy because when you think of going to Southeast Asia, you think of things being much more affordable. And just to put it into perspective, this room was almost 200 USD a night, and our nicest, most expensive lodging that we've booked in Vietnam so far is 60 USD per night.
It is after 11 p.m. Singapore time, and we've been mostly awake for over 24 hours now. And so our goal is to go to bed, get a good night's rest, wake up early in the morning, and just be on Southeast Asia time so we can hit the ground running.
It feels so good to lay down in an actual bed. Night.
One nice thing about this room is that there's no windows, so it's a completely dark blackout room. So I slept so good.
The hotel has free coffee. Score.
This morning we're enjoying a nice stroll through the Shiseido forest, which spans 5 levels and surrounds the waterfall and goes up to the Canopy Park, and it's meant to feel like you're going on a hike through the forest. There are 900 trees and palms and 60,000 shrubs, and it just feels like you're walking through a city that's just been overtaken by nature, but in a thoughtful and beautiful way.
Singapore is actually one of the greenest cities in the world, and they have a goal to be a city within nature. By 2030, the city hopes to have parks within a 10-minute walk from every household in the country, and it's really cool how the airport itself also achieves this goal by having so many green spaces.
You might notice the waterfall's not running right now. It runs from 10 or 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., but it's kind of cool because you get an unobstructed view of the entire nature surroundings. These might be the best caution cones. They're like little Mario Kart bananas.
We have a couple more spots that we want to check out in the airport, but they're actually past security, so we're gonna go pack up our bags, check out, and make our way there. Something kind of unique about this airport that has had us confused for the last 5 minutes is that you don't get your bag scanned until you're at your boarding gate. So we just went through immigration and we were like, when do we have our bags looked at? And we're like, did we miss something? But apparently you do it later.
Even though we're flying out of Terminal 1, we just took the SkyTrain to Terminal 3 to check out the butterfly garden, which has 1,000 butterflies and up to 40 different species. Wow.
They're just flying all around.
Yeah.
They just fly all around you. I've almost had like 10 just run into my face.
You're not supposed to touch the butterflies, but they can do what they want. One even landed on my ankle.
This was really cool. I've never been this close to so many butterflies. Ah, oh my gosh, one almost landed on me.
Terminal 3 is also home to Food Street, which is a 1960s themed food street with a bunch of different food stalls to choose from.
So how this place works is that for most of the stalls, you go to a kiosk and you can place your order for a bunch of different stalls there. We were a little confused on some of the ordering options, but thankfully there was a very kind airport employee who helped us out to figure out the spiciness, the noodles, and all of the different options.
I like it spicy.
And then you get this receipt with a number, then there's a board in here that has all the different stall numbers and it'll tell you which number order they have ready, and then you can go pick it up.
The first thing we ordered is a kaya toast set, which is a traditional Singapore breakfast. It consists of a hot coffee, 2 soft-boiled eggs, and kaya toast. And the kaya toast has butter and kaya on it, and kaya is a sweet coconut custard made with coconut milk and sugar, and then thickened with egg and flavored with pandan leaf. Also, this coffee, the way they made it was so cool. They have this giant pitcher and they do a pour over coffee into it, so it's just all this coffee in there, and then they pour hot water, and then they're like pouring it, all different kinds of liquids in here, and then the condensed milk. It's just a cool experience. The toast, perfectly toasted, and it's a really nice piece of bread here, but then the kaya on there makes it perfectly sweet, a little bit of coconut flavor, and the butter adds a little butteriness to it. Oh man, I can see how people really like this.
Oh, that is so good. The kaya is nice and creamy, and you immediately just get that nice toasted bread flavor. It just like takes me back to my childhood, eating a lot of toast. Oh, that is insanely good. It's so simple, so delicious.
Ooh, that's nice and sweet. Oh man. Ooh.
We also went to this vegetarian Indian stand and got dosa, and I was not expecting it to be so big. It's so heavy too, oh my goodness. So dosa is a thin pancake made from a fermented batter of ground black lentils and rice. And it also came with these 3 different items, but I honestly have no idea what they are. Look at this.
Oh yeah.
The dosa is also filled with a bunch of vegetables, and it kind of seems like maybe a curry sauce too. Yeah, the guy helped us order this, so I really don't know what this is, and that's gonna be kind of a theme of this whole trip, just trying a bunch of new things and surprising ourselves. Also not sure how to eat it. That is delicious. There are some nice hearty potatoes in there, and the sauce is really good, and this dosa has a nice crispiness on the outside, but it's really thin and it's also soft, and it has kind of slightly kind of not fried, but sort of like a fried taste to it. I'm experiencing flavors that I've never experienced before. I'm just so happy to be here in Asia. There are so many unique foods, so many things we've never tried. It's just gonna be just the best 6 weeks of just getting out of our comfort zone and just experiencing new things. I'm so excited.
Last but not least, we ordered a noodle dish from Michelin star Bib Gourmand food stall. This is signature pork slices, minced meat, and tender pork liver with noodles garnished with crispy fried soulfish. We had the kind man help us order this, and he hit the spicy button 3 times, so I'm a little nervous about this. And it also, when I went and picked it up, there was this soup there. No idea what it is.
I don't think we ordered that.
Yeah, I don't remember ordering that, but I'm gonna try it anyways. Yeah, good. These noodles are perfectly cooked. I think they're egg noodles, so they're nice and spongy and tasty. And then the spice level on here is actually really perfect. It's not too spicy. It's the exact right amount of spice level. And then you can just see all the little bit of sauce here. This is actually a dry one, but there's a little bit of sauce, and it's nice and oily and flavorful. The nice man that helped us order came by to see how we liked it. So friendly.
So nice. I love him. He's the best. Thank you. This is seriously the best airport ever, and unlike most airports where you really don't want to have a long layover or a delayed flight, I wish our layover here was longer because there is just so much to see, do, and eat. But now it's time to head to Vietnam.
So you may be wondering why we chose Vietnam out of all the amazing countries in Southeast Asia, and a big reason is we have a friend living there. Our friend Chris is currently teaching in Vietnam, and we thought it'd be crazy not to visit her while she's there. She's teaching in Ho Chi Minh City, also known as Saigon, which is where we're flying to today, and it's just an easy 2-hour flight.
So I guess our ticket came with a meal and we had no idea, but we're still so full from the airport. So we rejected the meal, but we also got ice cream and we definitely did not reject the ice cream. Just to clarify, not everyone is getting this. So I guess that when we booked this flight, we picked a fare that came with food without knowing it, but we're not mad about it because this was an awesome surprise.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ho Chi Minh.
We made it! We're in Vietnam!
Holy smokes.
We made it through customs and it took about an hour, so just be prepared to spend some time waiting in line. And as US citizens, we are required to have a visa to enter Vietnam, and the visa is for a maximum of 30 days. We're here for about 42 though, but we'll explain in a future video what we're doing about that. But it has been a journey to get here. We left Austin on February 27th and it's now midday on March 2nd. We had 3 flights and 2 overnight layovers, so it's been a bit of a whirlwind, but we are so excited to finally be here and start exploring. We at the hotel, YotelAir, Holiday Inn. We at the hotel, YotelAir, Changi Airport. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know. Am I still jet lagged? Maybe. I don't know. Or am I just weird? Probably.